Hello everyone, it's me again, Steedoj here, back with another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero video, and I wanted to talk about the best parts of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero's patch, because this patch, honestly, it's done the most to save the game. Out of all the things that have come out in the game most recently, DLC 1, DLC 2, this patch in particular has done the most to save the game. So I want to talk about all of the features in this patch, or at least the best features. Now, I think the first big thing is obviously that in offline battles, player matches and tournaments, and training battles, you can now adjust the DP scaling, which is really cool, because in Tenkaichi 3, we always had the option to bring our characters to lower DP or to higher DP with DP 20. Now, DP 20 lets you have 2 DP 10 characters. Obviously, that's just 2 characters, but I think this is just more exciting in general, especially for people who do stuff like, you know, Red Patara battles, other people like me who just like to have fun with every random system in the game. Having the option to limit the amount of characters we have on our team by tier makes things just way more interesting in general. So I'm actually me especially, I'm very appreciative of the 20 DP system. You guys let me know how you feel about that in the comment section, because this also applies to player matches. So player matches are kind of rare in this game, but hey, you actually see more variety in player matches now. And for me personally, one of the biggest things in the game is obviously swapping to the classic sound effects. Now, again, I don't think the classic sound effects are completely faithful to the way Tenkaichi 3 sound effects were. There are some Tenkaichi 3 sound effects. You can hear this is a Sparking Zero sound effect, and this is a Tenkaichi 3 sound effect. So it's not completely accurate, especially stuff like transformations. Transformations have like a really weird like noise. I don't know, it kind of sounds like a stand activation in JoJo for some reason. Now, a few of the things I like personally when it comes to the gameplay controls is stuff like short dash backwards is just straight up slower and like weaker than it is in any other direction. A good example is if you go forward, obviously, you could see how like fast you like boom around, but if you try to just run away from people, you can see it's crossing very little distance and the gaps between the dashes are longer. But if you're going forwards, you really get there in time. But if you're going backwards, it's so slow. They also made it easier to just do a short dash into a dragon dash in case if you just wanted to get both movements out at the same time. Another cool one involving dragon dash is how you can actually just do rush attacks easier after coming out of a dragon dash. And I think that's cool because I feel like there's too many times where I try to dash up someone and then just, you know, lay some punishment down, but it usually just didn't happen before. Now it does. It's just a really easy way to start a combo by having every combo start with one of these, you know? They've also changed it so that like dragon chasing or dragon homing combos, they actually connect way more now. You don't need to you don't have to charge them fully all the way if you want to reach an enemy that's further away. If you just press it, your character will actually just reach on his own. That's probably the best way to describe it. Before, you would have to charge up the attack until you physically reach the enemy. Now you can just like kind of just press it, and Goku or whichever character you're playing will just make the rest of the distance by themselves, basically. Another thing they've adjusted is that if people do steps, there's a lower chance that your hit will just whiff if an enemy's doing steps. I want to say, I feel like I've only kind of noticed this. It does feel like I can hit more people after a step, but at the same time, I still feel it happening a lot that whenever people are spamming step around you, you know, people very commonly do stuff like this. They just wait for you to attack first and hit these poses because they know there's a good chance you'll just go off course, right? So I think this is still an issue, but I have noticed that it's not as bad thanks to the patch. Oh, also, getting more ki for hitting people is just great, because obviously there's not that many instant... There are sometimes very low chances you'll be able to charge up ki in Sparking Zero, so having ki actually charge from you putting hands on an enemy is great. Like, I take away a health bar nearly a half in one combo, and I get almost a full ki bar back too. This is very important because in Sparking Zero in general, you always charge up to 2 bars of ki naturally on your own. So if you're able to get even like a somewhat decent combo off on an enemy, you could turn what would normally have just been 2 bars of ki into 3 bars of ki. And at 3 bars of ki, you can start obviously doing super attacks. And that's like, you know, that's like half the point, you know? You obviously just want to get big damage. Involving a UI Goku nerf makes me happy, and I'm proud to say that the ability to actually hit UI Goku, even if he's going for a dodge, a good example is that he automatically just dodges attacks in general, right? Other than like smash attacks and heavy attacks, he does automatically dodge attacks. So even when you're stepping around him, he'll still just hit the dodge randomly. But now you can use rush chains while he's dodging, and the rush chains do count as specials and smash attacks. They do just hit UI Goku. The same applies to Whis as well. So I think that's just nice to see in general. UI Goku players, they won't be so, you know, reliant on just standing there waiting for their auto dodge to save them from all combos. You can just get some hits on them. It's now also easier to connect smash attacks from rush attacks. This I'm actually a big fan of because I use smash attacks a lot. Like, I feel like not that many people use smash attacks. A lot of people just kind of go for like heavy finish, rolling hammer, and then they call it a day. But I love mixing combos into smash attacks because smash attacks, they're just really good, man. They've also reduced the damage of Ki Blast. Ki Blasts have their damage reduced in general. A single Ki Blast now does less damage than they used to do before, but now if you spam Ki Blast especially, the damage on them goes down the further you go into your Ki Blast volley. So you can see there, using my entire like set of Ki for Ki Blast was like 4k damage. In the previous patch, that probably would have been like 8, 9k. Which is ridiculous. So keep in mind, I'm on Vegeta. Vegeta is a Ki Blast god in this game, but he's not even the highest DP. Like UI Goku, Whis, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, any of the Brolys, they did more Ki Blast damage than this guy too. And on top of normal Ki Blasts being, nerfed when it comes to damage, especially with their, spammer properties, charged Ki Blasts of the shotgun variety, like the spread ones, they've also had their damage reduced. Now, I'm not sure if you guys remember, before these Ki Blasts did like 7, 8k damage on their own on characters like Gogeta and especially Vegeta, because these guys could just charge up a shotgun Ki Blast and then just hit you with it, right? I think he only shoots 3. Yeah, he only shoots 3 now as well, huh? That's tragic. So only 3 of those are registering on the enemy, and it only hits for like 2k. A good example is that before you used to be able to get combos where you could just stun someone, then drop one of these and then continue. And that used to be completely unforgivable because those used to do way too much damage. And another reason I'm picking Vegeta is because Vegeta could also do this, which would make his charge Ki Blast even stronger. And Vegeta landing a big stun combo on you, following up with a fully charged Ki Blast that leads into a combo, that was just completely evil. Into another one, that was completely unforgivable, right? I'm mad because I like Vegeta, and I used to do that with him all the time, but I completely get why that's nerfed, because on Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, that was beyond unforgivable. That was not fightable. It was just broken as hell. It didn't make any sense. You guys know Ultra Instinct Goku nerfs make me wanna sing, and I love it. So Ultra Instinct Goku's big charge Ki Blast, the like air shockwave punch, that can be deflected now. There are many ways around it. You can also just boost through it like normally. Like you could with like any other charge Ki Blast. Now it's not just the strongest charge Ki Blast in the game. You can actually do something about it. Like, yeah, you can boost through normal charge Ki Blast, but when he also does the air punch, oh, deflecting that one too. That is really quick. There you go. Yeah, it moves out of the way when you just boost into it. So I think that's very cool. UI Goku no longer can just cheese people forever. If you try to spam it, it has like a really long end lag. You can see the AI is even trying to spam it too, but it has dreadfully long end lag, so it's not going to hit people with infinite combos anymore. Another big thing that they did with Charge Ki Blast is actually making the unblockable Ki Blasts take more Ki, and there's more recovery after you use one as well. So you won't be able to just chain unblockable Ki Blasts as well, and they also do take more Ki. So as you can see, I'm trying my hardest to throw out a second like Scythe Slash after the first one, but the recovery is so long. It takes ages. I'm holding the button down, I'm mashing the button, trying to just get it to activate quicker. It just takes longer. It genuinely just takes way longer now. So as good as unblockable charge Ki Blasts are, because they go through guard and stuff and they do still do decent damage, they're no longer like infinite damage chaining. You probably won't see people throw them out in the middle of a combo anymore either, because obviously it takes longer to recover from one as well now. So you can't exactly just combo someone for free after landing one. It's just not possible. Of course, anything involving Perception getting nerfed helped me sleep at night, because Perception is still like frame 1. I still don't think it should be that quick. I understand, being rewarded for doing it on reaction, but a lot of people do just kind of carelessly spam it. Luckily though, Perception actually does cost more Ki just to even activate or tap now. On top of that, they made it so that when you're guarding attacks, you can't just guard into a Perception. Now, I still feel like you can. I feel like a few times while I've been playing online, you've been able to just guard into a Perception. But you can see here that the Ultra Instinct Goku is doing the full light combo. Keep in mind, Ultra Instinct Goku punches fast as hell, and I'm still not able to just randomly drop Perception in the middle of his combo, so that's good. I feel like during some characters like Broly or certain other guys, they do punch slow enough that you can still get Perception in the middle of a combo, especially if you go for a rush chain or a charged attack. On top of that, when you do actually get a Perception now, it's actually easier to follow up into a Perception attack. I think this is just supposed to reward Perception more, but I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like Perception is still kind of nasty. So it being rewarded more, it's maybe not the best, since you can still get way too much damage out of Perception. But at the same time, hey, if Perception is going to be weaker overall, it is allowed to have strengths in some other places. So I don't mind that it's easier to start combos from a Perception now. Another part about Perception that makes me quite happy is the fact that Perception before used to only take 1 skill counter, even on rush chains, but like now, even on smash attacks and rush chains, Perceptions does take 2 skill counts. I think this is probably definitely 100% for the better, because even though Perception obviously still counts as like everything in the game, I am glad that Perception actually uses up more resources if the enemy, chooses to do like a stronger attack. I really hated trying to go for a smash attack in the middle of my combo and just being punished. Yeah, there you go. So if you actually manage to land Perception against a Rush Chain or a Smash Attack, it now takes 2 skill counter rather than 1. And again, obviously this is better because it encourages people to... Well, it doesn't really encourage people. People will probably still press it, but at least if someone has 1 skill counter now, they won't be able to actually just immediately ignore your Rush Chain attack or your Smash attack. And it's also a good way to stop people who just hide behind Perception and charging ki up to max and spamming skills. It's a really good way to kill their skill count so that way you get hit with like less spam, you know? I think that's just a neat feature, so... Yippee to Perception being nerfed. Perception being nerfed literally only makes the game healthier because it dominates the game hard. I think another great feature they've done, and it's not really the most impactful, but they've made it so that Perception on super attacks actually gives you ki when you Perception a super attack, and the buff you get, which gives you, you know, automatic ki recovery and boosted ki recovery and stuff like that, it's a higher level buff, and it lasts for longer. And for me, I guess this is kind of a big deal. I'm 50-50 about this one because I actually like super attacks doing good damage at the end of combos. But I also do like people not just hitting you with like a massive combo, then hitting you with a super and ultimate attack and just one-shotting you off the rip. This one is that damage is reduced when landing any kind of super during a combo. So if I land, let's say, a raw super, for example, you know, this, right? No boost, just land Soul Punisher on its own, Stardust Breaker, right? It does 10k damage on its own. And then let's say even if I add like a punch that is like 2k damage to it, right? If I had a punch that's even just 2000 damage to the move's damage should drop off significantly or should be closer to 10k than it would be to anything else, really, because damage drop off in this game is now kind of just heavy as hell. Yeah, 9k. Damage drop off in this game is heavy as hell now. Because if I land that alone, it's actually stronger than if I land that in a combo. Now, the obvious point of this is probably to encourage instead of... this is a really good way to nerf Wild Sense in a way, right? Because what happens when you do Wild Sense? You teleport, like, behind someone, then you do, like, a big move that knocks them up into the air, and then everyone in their dad throws a super attack afterwards. But this will do less damage than if you just hit the person with a raw super. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to make Wild Sense completely unusable, but it just makes it so that Wild Sense is nowhere near as strong as it used to be. Obviously, the deeper you get in a combo, the lower the super attack damage becomes. Because if I land a combo like that, follow up with a super, again, no charges, the damage is 7k, and it goes to 14k. It's supposed to obviously encourage using supers in combos, but we'll see how that goes. I think another cool thing from this combo change is that things that have heavy finishes in them obviously are now going to be doing less damage than they did even before that, because yeah, the combo damage has been reduced overall. Especially Ground Slash. I know Ground Slash already has its own kind of damage reduction because it counts as the enemy basically being on the ground. Combo that with a super attack in the middle of a combo and it's going to do even less damage. Now, yeah, didn't even get 6k. Now, something that's a bit more unfortunate is that if you try to double super or use multiple supers in a row, it does do less damage. I think this one is actually a good change, if I'm being honest, because when you go for double supers, you're kind of just doing it to flex. Because a good example is Gogeta, right? Gogeta, what a lot of people do when they go in sparking mode is use this super and then combine it with his ultimate. But I'm going to show you the damage here now on its own. When he uses a super, it should definitely hit for more than 10k. It's Gogeta, for God's sake. So even in Broly, yeah, 11k, nearly 12k damage with just a super on its own. And then obviously when we do the ultimate on its own, that will do probably 2 health bars. Let's see it. Oh, yeah. Wow, 21k. So we have 12k and 21k. Now, obviously, I'm not saying the damage should combine totally, right? But the damage drop-off is just even higher than it was before. Because I'm going to go for this no boosts on the super, right? Go for the super on its own. Keep in mind I'm in sparking mode, so it's going to be even crazier. You finish the super, and then you have a chance to do the ultimate attack. Because, again, this is a guaranteed combo in the actual game. So we get nearly 12k there. And then this, which is 21k. But obviously, when you combine everything, it just drops all the way down to 19k, right? So the damage overall is lower than if I just did a raw ultimate. But at the same time, I did combine an ultimate into a super attack. That's still a lot of damage. It's not like a super bad enough. It's just a way to stop people from spamming stuff that gets really, really bad for the game. So rush Ki Blasts, here we go. I'm in sparking mode, and I still get hit by these Ki Blasts. I still get stunned by these Ki Blasts. Sparking mode now just doesn't make you automatically immune to Ki Blasts unless if you're above a certain tier. This is obviously a good change because, you know, nobody wants to get rushed down by goddamn Videl or Raccoon. Raccoon is still such a demon in this game, even after his nerf. You don't want to get rushed down by a character like that. Base Kefla won't be able to just go sparking mode and rush you and do her explosive wave right away. Now she'll have to actually be Super Saiyan 2 if she wants to do that tactic. And there you go. Gotenks, who is a DP7 character on the other hand, though. Ki Blast do just bounce off of him. So that's very cool. Very, very nice to see that is still a thing. For again, obviously for characters who actually are that level of strength. I think that makes more sense. So that's just pretty cool to see overall. They've adjusted how super attack damage works overall. I think that's really cool. So even if someone actually does manage to land a wild sense on you, it's not going to just be suddenly like the end of the world now. It's like, oh, I'm going to take a guaranteed super. Like the guaranteed super you're going to be taking is just weaker than what you were suffering before. So even if I follow up with Piccolo like this, 10k on a combo into a wild sense kick, into a super attack that I boosted to just only get 10k. So I think that's cool. But also, Wild Sense, just like the afterimage skills, can be cancelled by a Perception. So if you Perception someone, Wild Sense is just going to turn off literally like right away. Boo is on Perception mode now. I'm going to use Wild Sense. And as you can see, it's still active because it's grayed out. Alright, Boo hit us with that Perception. Boom. And then when you check, Wild Sense is now off. I have to reapply it. And then Boo hit us with that Perception. Boom. So I think that's a cool feature. Now it's for one of my more personal favorite changes in the game. It's the speed of unblockable explosive waves. They have been increased. Now, you guys might know explosive waves like Raccoon and Keflas. They're immediate, right? They get to max size right away. There's like from frame 0 to 1, it expands to full size. Well, for Final Explosion, not only is there a backflip animation, it takes a long time to expand as well, but they've actually increased the speed of the expansion now. So even though it has like a backflip and it's completely unblockable or anything like that, now it actually has a higher chance of just straight up hitting people, which is just good. You can see how fast it actually touches the enemy. That's just so beautiful to see. You guys might know I love using Final Explosion. If I have Majin Vegeta in the team, I will literally just use him to take out one character I'm tired of looking at for free. Especially if you go into instant sparking mode with him and you get the 2 extra like stocks for Ki Blast. Then going into Final Explosion, he has like a good chance to take off like 2 health bars and a half, which is such an easy way to kill like so many characters in a game. And then obviously if you have Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta as well, you go Blue Evolve to use all of his buffs and then use his version of Final Explosion, you have an even higher chance of just taking an enemy out. So here we go, full power, activate Vegeta's buff, and then go Blue Evolved. And then when we pop the final God Explosion, you're not going to survive this. So this should do even greater damage than it's been able to do. And it touches the enemy right away. It's even faster now and it does more damage. Let's see. Damn, 2.7. And keep in mind, he doesn't lose his life like Majin Vegeta when he does do it. I think that's very cool. He doesn't lose his life. Yeah, he loses a ton of health, but he doesn't lose his life. So this is even more viable than it was before now. And that's just great to see because I like playing Blue Vegeta, and Blue Evolved is a permanent increase to like his stats overall. So it's just nice to see that he now has a permanently mega strong ultimate attack. The final change for today is Whis' Symphonic Destruction. Now before, this move for some reason, out of all the moves you could high-speed evasive in the game, this move straight up was just impossible to do it to. For some reason, straight up the game devs decided no. Even if you get the timing right, you will not dodge this attack. We've just programmed it to not be dodgeable. I have no idea why they decided it should be like that, but they finally reverted it. Now you can actually use high-speed evasion to escape.
I'll play with you for a little while.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Goku actually used high-speed evasion to dodge it. So yeah, you can see you can now high-speed evasion Whis' move. Obviously, for a lot of people, the timing is going to be weird because people are probably just not used to dodging this move in general since it was never possible before. But now if you're fighting a 10 DP Ultra God Whis player who sweeps you off of your feet, then always go for this, or goes for like a heavy smash, and then, or like a heavy finish, and then goes for the super, you'll be able to do something about it now. It's not just, oh, I guess you have to take like 8k damage, 10k damage. Now you can actually dodge it too. So I think that's pretty cool. And honestly, I think that's a solid place to end the video, guys. Again, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. And let me know what change is your favorite and which change do you still think the game needs to add to make Dragon Ball Sparking Zero truly the ideal game. And that'll be it. I do love you all. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Take care and peace, fellas.